11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And how am I doing with video? With the video going, is my audio okay?
Yep.
Okay, we're at the welcome to the Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every day at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, for about an hour or 90 minutes. We might be changing that. We do 3 gun-related topics each day, different topics throughout the week, and we run it live on YouTube. We simulcast it over at gunchannels.com, and we appreciate everybody that listens to the show and leaves us feedback. Kind of abbreviating it this morning because we're at the 32nd Annual Gun Rights Policy Conference here on Friday. We have a Second Amendment seminar going on, so I'm going to leave. But kind of neat. So we're on location at the Gun Rights Policy Conference, and I'll go out this door. What's today? Friday. So we'll be talking about the gun biz. We'll be talking about gun tech.
Yeah, gun tech and alt gun topics.
Right on. So they're doing a seminar today that I just found out about. It's the first year that they're doing it. Hopefully it'll be a continuing thing for like social media. Right now they're doing a segment on fact checking. So I figured I would just ditch out and do the show. But next year we'll try to get everybody to attend this one. It's pretty good. So we usually start finding out if anything happened overnight. That's what we're talking about. You have any fun last night?
I really wasn't much myself.
I caught a little bit of Clover Tag's chat last night. It was really good. What else was on? Yes. Oh, Yankee did a chat. I didn't catch that one. That was his shooting it that he does on his off weeks or whatever.
Yeah, like the solo show.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one. Yeah, that's about it. The early watch was this morning. Other than that,
So yeah, other than that.
Oh, I'm muted. So last night I headed down to Dallas. So I'm at the Westin Hotel. The airport is over there somewhere. And the van is right there. Yeah, I just found out about this on Instagram. That was pretty cool. One of the guys from, I don't know if he's from the Flight Society podcast or not, posted the schedule for the day. And I was over by where Flippy lives, which is like 45 minutes away from here. And boogied over here. I only missed the first segment, and then I'll miss this piece that they're doing now. But kind of cool. They talked about growing audience. They talked about interview techniques with Mark Walters, the guy who does Armed American Radio.
That's cool. So you're getting there's some real info there.
Yeah, it's for content creators and podcasters specifically. It's actually pretty neat. So, yeah, I didn't know about it. I talked to the guy from Flight Society podcast who's putting it on, and he's hoping to make it an annual thing. This year he was sort of going slow because of the room they gave him there. I don't know if you could tell from the beginning there. It's not a huge room, so it can only hold 75 people. So he's hoping to make it a bigger thing next year.
Looks like it's a little damp there. Been raining?
Yeah, it's kind of wet. It's not really raining as much as just water is everywhere. It's kind of heavy fog, you know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I bet you Oro's enjoying it.
Yeah. All right, so kind of started it out there since I was in the building. I wanted to start while we were in there, but we'll just do the show regular. So what's our first topic?
We have Gun Tech, which I was gonna put, since it's episode 410 today. I was gonna put something about multiple caliber revolvers, but I figured that wouldn't be too long or good of a conversation, so there's nothing in there.
You gotta tell we're not 410 fans.
Yeah.
Did you say pistol caliber revolvers?
Or multiple caliber revolvers.
Oh, okay. Well, 22 and 22 LR, or 22 short and 22 LR is my favorite multiple caliber gun.
Yeah. I like that. Well, I guess since we're going to talk about Gun Tech, I like that Medusa. I think it could shoot up to from anywhere between 9 to 357 and everything in between or something like that.
Well, anything 30 cal that'll fit in the chamber. So something like 36 calibers technically, but that's a heck of a lot of like old stuff that you can't really buy anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was interesting that pretty much all 9mm are 30 cal. So they're basically the same as a 7.62 by 39 and a 30-06, and everything's the same diameter. It's just the bullets are all different shapes and sizes, and the cases are always obviously different. But so many of those pistol ones, well, revolver calibers are such within such spec, and it's just their rims that change. That Medusa put a little metal.
And everybody's gone again. So what we're talking about right now is the Medusa revolver. I think G-Whips did a rather interesting video on it. And it's basically just a revolver that shoots anything that's 30 caliber that fits in the chamber. So, 38 special, 357, 9mm Largo, 9mm Kurtz. So there's just piles of different calibers that are basically a 30 caliber bullet with a pistol cartridge or a pistol case behind it.
Yeah, but like G was saying though, there's a lot of like 9x3. There's a lot of cartridges in there that are, wouldn't even be. I don't even think are being manufactured nowadays.
Right. Yeah, like 9mm. Was it 9mm short? No, 9mm long.
Yeah, they had like 9 long, 9 Magnum, 9x23, which I'm sure is one of those.
Yeah.
What about the Medusa still?
Yeah.
So, I've got a Ruger Blackhawk in 357, but if I want to use 9mm in it, I have to change the cylinder out.
Oh, that's a good point. There's definitely Dan Weston does a bunch like that too, don't they? Where you just change out the cylinder, and now the barrel basically might not be perfect for everyone, but it works for everyone.
Yeah. I find with that Blackhawk, the 9mm shoots fine. It's actually a really nice if you want to teach, like a kid or something to shoot a pistol. You don't have to have a separate 22 rimfire because that Blackhawk's heavy enough. You put 9mm standard 9mm in it, and it's like
how long is the barrel on it?
It's only a 4.5-inch barrel.
You're not worried about the 9mm get stuck in that?
No. No, it doesn't get stuck in it. The only thing you can't do is you can't use steel case ammo. Well, you can, but it doesn't like to eject. So you got to use the brass if you want to not have to take it apart, take the cylinder out just to get the brass out.
Now, since this is oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, since this is kind of like a gun tech topic, I had this one gun that I was sort of interested in. It turned out that this was a troll by somebody a long time ago. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, the Ruger Switcheroo Buckaroo. No?
No, never heard of it.
So this is kind of
a meme or something.
No, it wasn't a meme, but it was a pre-SHOT Show thing. So somebody put it out as like a troll to kind of get people all hyped up for SHOT Show or whatever. But it is a real interesting concept. So what it is I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but so they have 357, 3 357 and 322s. Now, how they switch it is there's a button on the front, and what it'll do, it's the twist barrel, but it'll also switch to bushing. So if you have it on 357, that's a really long travel, you know. So I don't know, but I figure for gun tech wise, if they were to do something like that, that'd be pretty cool and innovative.
Yeah, if ever got out of timing though, and you fired that 357 through the 22 barrel, you'd be hooped.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Well, you'd make it where it can't, right? Like same way the airplane, it's not supposed to be able to shoot off its props, right? They make it so that it can't function in the wrong mode or whatever.
Well,
But-
they could, yeah, that would be a mechanical thing, so that could fail.
True, but you know, our mechanical, like, anyway. So all I'm saying is that's a lot of gun for 3 shots of each caliber.
Yeah.
A particular one.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah, well, that's
concept, I have a little twist barrel 22 short that's like a remake from, I forget, like Georgia or Tennessee or someplace. And I figured it was a remake of some old gun. And at the J.M. Davis Museum, man, I must have seen dozens of guns that had 2 barrels up, one on top of each other. So that similar concept where you swap the whole barrel, and in those cases the chambers. So that rotating barrel thing has been around for a while. They have those drillings, right, where their shotgun look like side by side shotguns, but one side's a real big rifle caliber and the other side's a shotgun.
oh
Have you
yeah,
ever
yeah.
seen, Bob, where the drilling type of thing uses a twist so that there's just one action, but then the 2 different calibers? I don't think I've seen anything like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I have either.
I imagine it's not fast enough. I think the concept there is you're out hunting for a deer and a bird flies by, you shoot the bird. You wouldn't be hunting for a deer in deer mode and then have to go click, click, click and flip over to bird mode or something.
Yeah. It'd be easier just to be able to use the other barrel, you know, either have.
More common ones though now are the 410 and 45 Colt revolvers.
Yeah, and being this is the 410th show, we could talk about 410 type stuff, but
That makes sense. This should be the show devoted to 410, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, so then, well, you've got what was the original of the 410 revolvers?
I know they had Derringers out there, but I think the first revolver was the Judge, I'm pretty sure.
Fuck no, not at all. It was the the one I can think of that went into production for a little bit at least was that Thunder 5. So think of the movie Three Kings, the movie.
Oh yeah.
Revolver. That one was a big honking revolver made in the USA a while back, and didn't work well, so it didn't last long, and it was also not in any kind of demand, so it was just made to be cool or something, and or whatever reasons, and no one agreed, and it never really sold. But then Taurus definitely brought it back, and for whatever reason, just wailed on it with the Judge.
See, I'm looking at the Thunder 5 right now. Let me screenshot. I don't understand how that didn't take off because those look better than the Judge. I don't know.
No, it was crudely made. It was a lot like a Cobra. If you've ever played with Cobras.
Oh yeah.
Now, a little side history on that Thunder 5 is it was having problems, right, as a gun, and they brought it to Boje Cornelius, I think that's how you say his last name, who was the guy that he took the design for the AA-12 from the inventor. Okay, so the inventor had the AA-12 and it didn't work good. He sold it to a guy, Baker, and I think he sold it to another guy. That guy isn't an engineer. He casts and forges. He's a metal guy. So he bought this patent for the AA-12 and then got Boje, who's a German engineer, to redo the design so that it works. It's a working gun. And then Boje is basically not the inventor of, but he's the guy that made a practical gun out of the AA-12. And that same guy did the same job to the Thunder 5. So he's got a couple of Thunder 5s that he was showing us when we did the tour there in 12 that he did for that Thunder 5 company. But unfortunately, that was I still think in the 90s or something, and it was just way before people were ready for the Judge. And they weren't, that was a small company too. So even if there was a lot of supply, they can only make X amount of guns. Taurus is a massive company. If they want to make a gun, they can make a million of them.
Oh yeah. I just like how some of them they have that smooth cylinder. Where was that one out?
The Judges?
No, Thunder 5.
Oh yeah, the Thunder 5 is a cool looking gun too. It's big. They didn't fart around trying to make it scaled down like a Judge looks like a normal size revolver with a big cylinder. Thunder 5 just looks like it's in proportion right, so it's a little bit big to hold.
Yeah. But yeah, I had one of them, the Judges, and I don't know, man, from like maybe about 5 feet away, that the spread was just ridiculous. I think they kind of counteracted that though, didn't they? Made like pistol specific 410 rounds.
No, not really. They've made 410 rounds that have like 3 pellets and some shot or something like that, or maybe just 3 pellets and a slug or something. But no, they try to deal with the weaknesses of that gun, but that's the problem I've always had with that concept. Even if you put 3 balls in there, 3 buckshot or whatever, coming out the end of a 410, they're going in 3 different directions, and you're liable for every single one of those. So maybe you save your life with 1 or 2, but if you do something horrible with that 3rd one, there's consequences. So I just can't see it being a viable option for defense unless you're using slugs.
You might as well just use slugs with it. And the only reason I could see doing that is if they were cheaper.
Why shoot 410? There's no reason to shoot 410 over 45 Colt, is there? Makes the gun bigger and stupid looking, and it's not more powerful, is it?
Nope.
No.
45 has more pressure, probably more velocity because it's just the one projectile.
And it isn't a stupid deer slug. It's an actual, projectile designed to do penetration. I mean, now you get 410s, I guess, that probably do more, but I don't know. I can't say.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, yeah, like you said, though, even if they had a jacketed slug or something like that, I'd probably rather have like a Hornady 45 Colt or, something like that would actually do the job.
So switching over to what like the 44, 41, 44 and 44 special. Isn't there another one? You can get a 454 that uses...
Yeah, 454 or 45 long Colt, and there's some that'll take the 45 Schofield too.
Well, anything that takes Colt will take Schofield. That's just the same cartridge, just a little bit shorter, isn't it?
I thought the same thing, but I had that Raging Bull, and I don't know if it was just the rim was that much little bit thicker, but I couldn't clock up the cylinder.
No, that can be a thing because there were definitely different size rims, so it's not always just case length. And the rim can be a bigger diameter too sometimes.
Yeah, but mostly anything that could take, like you're saying, 45 Colt should be able to take Schofield.
And then I think I guess my favorite is 22 short and 22 long rifle, but that's because you can shoot 22 short in it. But I think the most common is probably 37-38 as far as multi-caliber revolvers.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, because people use 38 to go train with and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. Practice and have fun with the gun in 38, and then effective in 357. All right. Well, sounds like we solved that, I guess.
Yeah, I feel confident in that.
I guess I should plug in my phone since I'm sitting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've solved it. So let's go on to our next one.
That would be, so between the first and second segment every day, we usually mention somebody, either Gun Channel's member or somebody that's out there in the 2A community doing good.
So if we don't have anybody in there, I'm going to, since it's 410 day, I'm going to mention that guy Pete from Florida, who's not around anymore, but he was in for a while, and he was a bit of a character. He carried Judges, I think 2 Judges, and people gave him a bunch of crap about it, but sort of what you're going to get when you come into a locker room acting weird. You're going to get locker room talk. So he got a little. It's not an echo chamber, right? So we're featuring members over on Gun Channels. Gun Channels is a place we built. It's a community. It's focused on firearms, and there ain't a heck of a lot of rules. You just got to be cool to each other, and I guess that is a loose interpretation of cool, I guess. But at the same time, again, somebody comes in being weird. It's the community's job to let them know the norms or let them know that they're outside the parameters, right? Not that they have to conform, but yeah, when you're walking around with 2 judges and having conversations with people that, don't live in that world, then you don't always get an echo chamber. You're not going to get people that just agree with your decisions there. So you know, we'd feature a lot of members that are active and that do a lot of stuff, and figured why not, since we're talking 410, it came to mind. And you know, sometimes Gun Channels works for people, and sometimes it's not the perfect match. But that's why it's awesome, because it's real.
Moving out there saying Backpack Pete.
Yep, that's the guy. And I feel like it's worth it. You know, it's not like we're just setting a place up so that somebody can come in and get ridiculed. We're setting a place up so that there's a community. There aren't gun shows necessarily everywhere. There aren't gun shops that are, you know, have a place to BS or have some console from older people. So Gun Channels is a community. It's a conversation place. And yeah, you can't expect everybody to agree with everything. And when you're that far out of the norm or whatever, it's I think it's a useful experience for everybody to interact with the guy, and it's an opportunity for the guy to, you know, get his head on straight. I don't know what his final result was, but hopefully he went away with at least more knowledge, at least if nothing else, knowledge that not everybody agrees with his choices.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I remember talking to him one night about reloading. He wanted to, you know, reload. So I just read earlier about you can use 444 Marlin cartridges. I think you have to sand down the rim a bit, make it a little thinner, but they'll actually work in the Judge. They're the same as a 410 cartridge. And that gives you the ability to reload brass cartridges in a, you know, like as a 410. So you can make your own slugs and load them with black powder, and super easy.
Would that still take a large pistol primer though?
I think so.
Any issue with that setting off shotgun powder?
Not that I know of. I mean, the article I read never mentioned anything like that. But the only thing that I would think about with that is, you know, the rounds are so expensive. Like 444 brass is ridiculous. But you could reload those like so many times, and if you were reloading with black powder, you'd never stress them.
And you'd you only need 5 or 6 or whatever. I guess 5. Yeah. So you only need a few, and you have enough to shoot it, and that would be cool, because you really can't get. I can't think of anybody selling brass 410s anymore. I've seen metals 410s, but they're not reloadable.
Yeah.
And, you know, they'd be historic or something. I wouldn't want to trust some old one.
Right. So, and I know you can get a 12 gauge in brass, but I've never seen 410 in brass. So I thought that was kind of a neat idea. Plus, being a rifle cartridge, it would be a fairly thick brass. So it would stand up for thousands, you know, or hundreds of reloads anyway.
I'm pretty sure whenever I bought that ammo collection from that old guy at a Tucson gun show one time, I scored and got like almost every gauge in metal. So I'm pretty sure I got a couple of 410 brass ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think
well, that used to be, that's the way they made them, right?
For a little while. I think that must have got expensive really quick.
That was the problem, yeah. But the nice thing is, if you were reloading, you know, you can reload brass an awful lot.
Well, okay, so that was our member of the day. And if you've got ideas for members of the day and you're a member of Gun Channels, then, you know, put your think cap on, open up an email, send it to us at dailygunshow@gmail.com. We do like to feature a member every day, and we have been accused in the past of recycling through the same people. And, you know, that's not the goal. The goal is to, you know, keep in mind that it's a community and there's all kinds of people represented there. So what does that take us into?
That takes us to Gun Biz.
Let's solve it. Let's make them some money.
There you go.
What's our topic today then? Do we have one?
Don't have one.
All right. This one down the list of ways, but I'm going to say we've talked about logo and branding before, but I'm going to say let's do the topic of specifically T-shirts. I personally think there's enough gun shops doing T-shirts, and the more I think about it, it's like I got to be one of the best ways of advertising, bang for your buck.
Well, yeah, because everybody needs a shirt.
Yeah, you mentioned we were talking about it before. You rip a shirt, you get all dirty or something, so you go get another one. And yeah, who wouldn't? I mean, you're wearing gun shirts half the time anyway, with logos of brands or something on them, or maybe in a shooting event you went to or something like that. People buy shirts to, uh, just let people know their interests and whatnot. So yeah, I would think one of the reasons you don't see a lot of people wearing the store shirts is just because a lot of gun stores don't have them necessarily.
Yeah. I know my local place, man, once they started printing up shirts and stuff like that, he said that he's like it's definitely adding to his money. I'm not going to say that he's getting rich off of it, but he's selling out shirts. So it was something that he didn't think people would be interested in, gave it a shot and found out he was wrong and people loved it. So I think it's a great idea.
Like practically, you get somebody wearing your T-shirt and they go out to the range because they're going to go shooting. They're going to wear a gun T-shirt. And now they're advertising your shop, right? Maybe they start a conversation. The guy can tell you about how great your shop is.
Yeah.
Or so the guy just sees the back of your shirt and goes, "Oh, I didn't know that gun shop was there. I didn't know that was still there."
But yeah, that's what we were talking about. I think it was like last week. What could be better than free advertising than somebody paying you to advertise for you for free? You know, I don't know.
That's a good point, Alan. Here's one of the things that grinds my gears. I was going to buy one at this P226 nut. Took me to five gun shops and a surplus store, and only one of the shops had a shirt for sale. It was a range. Usually, it's the ranges that have them. And so I was going to buy a shirt. It was $19. $19. And I'm all about supporting the shop or whatever, but I also happen to know what shirts cost, and they don't cost no $19. So and they had a bunch of them, but they didn't have them in my size also. So I'd say, I don't know what you're thinking, gun shops. Why are you buying them in small anyway? Buy them in extra large and maybe some mediums. But these are gun people. Like, consider getting the big ones. But I was gonna say that bothers me is when they price them so high, because you are getting paid, but just get your money back, right? Or if that, give them to people with guns and stuff. Then you'll definitely be see people wearing them around.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing too. That kind of, excuse me, kind of comes to mind is that people talk about going in and supporting their local gun shops and all that. Well, say you don't need anything, you could still go in there, BS with the people in there, and give them a couple bucks for a shirt, $10, $15, whatever they're charging.
Yeah, seriously, that is probably a good idea. Like, you figure most towns are going to have 12 or so gun shops or less, and maybe travel a little bit, but try to give yourself a goal, like once every quarter, once every month, whatever you can afford, buy a new gun shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're advertising the shops and the shooting events and the ranges or whatever they are. I guess if you had a lack of gun shops, you could also get like Second Amendment Foundation, Gun Owners of America. They all have shirts.
Huh?
Did that call bump me out of here?
No. I was wondering what that horn thing was, though, but let's see. Smeggy, I kind of agree with Smeggy too. That shirt or hat to be thrown in if you buy a gun, like that'd be kind of cool, like a little promotion. I've also seen too, and I don't know what your guys' thoughts on this, but it's not necessarily the gun shop shirt, but it's in gun shops. Like I've seen a couple gun shops that do like meme T-shirts, like straight out of AZ or something like that. I don't know if those would. It's not necessarily advertising for the shop, but it could bring money in. Let's see what else we got. It'd be cool if they did the Harley Davidson marketing thing, give the gun shops a standard template that are then customized to their own logo. This way people can collect them. Yeah, that'd be I gotta catch them all. Pokemon gun shop shirts. Moon says he want to make his desktop patch into a t-shirt. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, that's all the comments we got. So there you go, gun shops, get t-shirts.
Sure, t-shirts are great.
Yeah, I'm checking for the comments. Don't see no comments coming in, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that everybody's in agreement.
Oh yeah, we got Moon Food just wants figures needs a desktop t-shirt made because he's got that, he designed that desktop patch. That would make a cool t-shirt too. People go, what is that?
Yeah. Well, let me show you.
But that's one thing I found in the gun shops is if they've got a t-shirt, I would generally try to pick one up. Just because, I mean, it's cool, right? Like I got one from Larry's Gun Shop in New Mexico, and it's in Roswell. So, what could be better than a gun shop that's where the aliens landed? It's like, yeah, I was at the gun shop, in Roswell, because, I had to pick up ammo for when the aliens tried to kidnap me.
Yeah. Never know when them damn aliens are going to come.
And they never did either. And I was parked way out by where they found them, too. Didn't see a single UFO. Quite a disappointment.
Yeah, they're rare from what I understand.
Apparently. Sure got a lot of pictures of them in that town, though.
What's Bob talking about?
Roswell. Aliens in Roswell, New Mexico. Whereas I was just talking about that t-shirt I got from the Larry's Gun Shop in Roswell, New Mexico.
Oh, right on. I was going to say, though, I keep telling Bob, if he would have had something on besides the t-shirt, the aliens might have come.
Stand out there by the camper, shaking my fist at the sky in my t-shirt. Nothing else.
So I'm trying to make money for gun shops, right? But I'll have to admit that I had a similar experience to Bob. I went into a little shop and was talking to the guy. He asked why I'm taking the pictures and told him, and he thought it was cool. So anyway, he ended up giving me a shirt. So I go, sometimes shops are buying those shirts as marketing, and they don't really care if they make their money back on them. They certainly don't care if they make, well, some shops certainly don't care if they make a profit on them. They understand that you're wearing around a shirt is they should be paying you almost. So, being a good customer, dropping off a thing of donuts. Today is coffee day. So can't you buy those like things of coffee, like portable, disposable coffee thingies that come with some cups, and drop one of those off at a gun shop? Hey, it's coffee day. I thought you guys want some coffee. If not, you can give it to your customers. And it's in a, easy to deal with thing. They can just throw it away.
Yeah, and they usually they get 4 cups or whatever with it, and it's like the 10 cup pot kind of thing.
Yeah, like what you do at this kind of seminar that we have right now. Yeah. If it's coffee day and your shop already has coffee, consider bringing them some donuts, or I don't know, have your friend or your wife or whoever it is, figure out how to make a little gift basket of creamers and whatever the hell, but that kind of stuff. Well, there you go. So maybe that kind of thing can get you a free shirt once in a while.
Yeah, for sure. And if nothing else, you're getting a good relationship with your local gun shop.
Anything else on t-shirts? I'd say make them cool looking. I don't like having American flags on my shirts, so that puts me off on a couple of them I've seen. I know it's not a normal thing, but I'm assuming, some of the really violent, weird stuff, a lot of shops don't bother with that, but sometimes you'll see that kind of thing. And I suspect that, probably has something to do with how many people buy their shirts or whatever. On the other hand, they probably get people out there that are, looking for those kind of shirts and happy to wear it. I suspect there's fewer of those people though.
Yeah, but it's people's taste, right? But yeah, some nice, Something really simple, like Larry's Gun Shop was really cool because it just had, on the front, it had the logo, LGS, Larry's Gun Shop. And then on the back, it had the whole name and, Roswell, New Mexico and everything. So it's kind of cool because then it not only, makes you think Larry's Gun Shop and then, it tells you what town it's in and stuff, right? So it's, giving you
I think definitely important for the shirt to not just assume that you're wearing it around their neighborhood.
Right.
And I've seen some places too where they'll actually, I was saying this earlier, where they'll put the memes on it. Like there was one I saw straight out of AZ, and then they have the Walking Dead guy, with the baseball bat, that kind of stuff. But then on the back, it'll say, like Bob was saying, it'll have their store name, their address, and stuff like that. I think it might have their phone number on it. I'm not sure. But cool shirts to kind of catch people's eyes and be like, oh yeah, I'd wear something there, get them giggling and oh yeah, I'd wear that. And then it has the gun shop on the back, so win-win.
Yeah, exactly. They might go in there to buy a T-shirt and come out of there with maybe some info on 2A and maybe just appreciation to firearms.
I feel like we need to some money.
I think so. Yeah. Well, no, it's a heck of a good idea, and I think more gun shops should be doing it.
Seems like the kind of thing where if a T-shirt designer or a store, or whatever you call a place that makes T-shirts, they could give a discount to gun shops. All right, get a bunch of money.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd definitely be an idea. Well, I think we've solved that one now. So let's go on to what's our next? Well, I don't know. What does anybody want to do? The movie or want to do that gun of the day or?
Well, hold on. Let me do one more thing about T-shirts. That made me think that let's say you're a shop or you just want to promote a shop or something and they don't have a shirt, or you're a shop and you don't have the cash to spend on a massive order, like a minimum order of a bunch of shirts, which I totally understand. You can do something like the Spreadshirt thing or the Cafe Press. There's a couple others where there's print on demand. So you basically sent them your artwork, and then if a customer wants it, like off your website or something, they can order it. Or if you got a tablet or something in the store, if somebody wants a shirt, you can have a couple of samples up on the wall or have your employees wear them. And if somebody ever does ask about them, you can have it printed and then tell them, it'll be here in a few days. And then I would say bite some of the charge there, some of the fee, charge them only $10 for the shirt. So it costs you 20 something to get the thing. But then that way you get some market research, 6 or 8 people start coming in and you're losing money on each shirt. Then it's time to go get that minimum order. But if you set it up that way and no one ever asks for your shirt, then you're not out any money. Or if you're just individual and you want to promote something that, an old gun shop that doesn't exist anymore, so there's no way to get a shirt, or, somebody that, anyway, you can come up with ideas of what you might want as a one-off. Same thing, you go to Spreadshirt, set up an account, add the artwork, buy the one shirt, and just leave it there. You don't have to set up a store and all that. You can have just one shirt made. It's not super costly. It's like $25 or something. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there.
So now with that, if somebody goes in and is interested in it, then that would be on you to make more shirts, or can they order more shirts from the Spreadshirt place and they'll just make them?
Yeah, Spreadshirt, once they got or any of those places, saying Spreadshirt, but whatever the service is, once they've got your image, then they can just make 1 or 100, or make one ever, or make one now and one a year from now, or 2 years from now.
Huh.
Yeah. But there are ways to kind of, put your toe in the water before you actually spend a bunch of money. Because what do you figure? A shirt costs $10 probably wholesale. So, you're going to buy 10 or 11 in each size. So you're talking probably costs more than that. Hundreds of dollars probably to get a set of shirts.
I know that's Milsert place by me. They do printing of shirts, and I was thinking about getting something like printed up just to take over and try and sell and stuff. So I was seeing how much they would do in bulk, and he said that the least that I could do is 100 shirts, and that'd be around $500.
Okay, so that's $5 at 100 quantity. So you
Yeah.
figure, what, 10 of each of the popular sizes is 60 of them right there, and then double up on the most popular sizes, the most common sizes. So
Yeah, and also too, he said that it gets cheaper the more that I get. So like if I were to get 1,000, it'd be cheaper than getting 100, obviously.
oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll have to talk more about that. Maybe we'll get a podcast shirt or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Oh, for sure.
We'll call it the Daily Gun shirt. We could do a daily gun shirt of the day. I have a shit ton of gun shirts.
That's an idea.
All right, well, I guess then we can move on to what were you saying, Bob? Gun of the day, movie of the day?
Yeah.
What's today? 10? So it's got to be a 410, right?
No.
Oh.
That's just that would be just too cliche.
Why don't we do the Thunder 5? 'Cause that's a cool revolver.
Okay, let's do that. We can do this gun I got in there Monday.
It's probably Czechoslovakian anyway.
No. Belgium.
I don't know if there's a wiki for Thunder 5. I'm sure there is, though.
I'm running to get up there right now.
That could be our movie of the day, too. Three Kings is the movie that I remember seeing it in. But I know I've seen it in other movies before.
Well, it's like any kind of big, giant type revolver.
All right, the Thunder 5. Thunder 5, large double action revolver chambered in 410 bore shot shell cartridge. It is also designed to fire the 45 Colt revolver cartridge. It is similar to the Taurus Judge, but is not a copy of the gun, as the Thunder 5 predates the Judge by a decade. Let's see. The revolver is somewhat unusual for the type of weapon. Features a manual safety lever. It also features Pachmayr decelerator grips. The Thunder 5 comes in either matte or bright stainless steel finish and has fixed sight. It was produced between 92 and 98. And this is a California approved model.
Can't believe California approves any gun.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm not sure if the Judge is on the list in California. I don't think it's approved. I'm not sure though. Let's see. Considerably large, especially for a snub nose. 9 inches in length, as the barrel is rifled, the Thunder 5 is not considered a short-barreled shotgun under United States federal law, but is under California statutes. However, a variant was produced in 4570. Crap. That is legal in California. Production of the 4570 variant started in 1994. You can also put subcaliber sleeve inserts for 9mm, 38, 357, and 38 Super. Those were produced in 1998. In the more recent years, the Thunder 5 has become a hotter collector's item and has even appeared in a few movies, Three Kings being one of
them.
Snap. Never thought about using those chamber inserts, but yeah, you can get stainless steel chamber inserts, and especially in one of those revolvers, they're basically the same size as a cylinder, so you're not using the barrel, but depending on like a 38 or something, it's like shooting out of a Derringer or really small snub nose, I guess.
Huh? Yeah, we had the pictures up earlier, but I'll show them again for anyone that wasn't with us. That's pretty cool.
That thing is huge, though.
Well, that's the thing too that I didn't understand about the Judge and how they were trying to market it as a concealed carry weapon. It was, well, not the judge. What was it, the public defender or something like that? It was like littler. They're huge guns, though. You're not hiding that thing well. FDE or gold? Oh, it's FDE.
You have to have a lot of tactical padding.
Yeah. See, these ones are cool. I don't know why, but I'm just a sucker for smooth cylinder.
He just goes right past my video there.
Oh yeah, look at made it. G-Webs made it to Google.
I'm gonna be somebody.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a cool gun. I appreciate the innovation, I guess. Like, hey, let's try to put this little shotgun thing in a pistol. But I just don't see the use of it. Like I said, when I had that judge, the spread was just ridiculous. I'd probably rather if I take a 38 and get some snake shot or something, or if I want to kill critters with it.
Yeah, it's like unless you're 2 foot away from the snake.
Yeah.
And if you're that close, it might be too late.
Instead, I suppose mechanically, if we're talking, well, and legally, if it needs to have a rifled barrel in order to not be a short shotgun, which technically it does, otherwise it would be a short shotgun. When you shoot buckshot through a rifling, that's not just throwing it down in a lump, it's twisting it. So it's probably amplifying. I don't know if there's enough time involved there to do it.
Well, yeah. Look at how short. What one in an eighth of an inch, or maybe 1.5 inches, maybe something like that. I don't think it's burning off any of that powder, barely any of that powder. At least not all of it.
Get it going goofy instead of just letting it flow out like it would.
Right.
You know, shots designed to just get pushed by the wad and then like fly as a group. But if you twist it as going down the barrel at all, now it's
centrifugal force throwing it out
to the side. A couple.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess, if you're shooting them with slugs, but then if you're going to use slugs, why not just use 45 long Colt? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like we were saying earlier, man, you're going to get more power out of it.
Yep. So yeah, not a great gun, but that's our gun of the day.
Definitely, I see what they're trying. I see what they were trying to do. I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate the innovation or the try. You know.
If they'd been able to do it with a smooth barrel, for the kind of self-defense ranges it's made for, that would have been a better option.
So it's basically safer to have a smooth barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So people that are advocates of the NFA and the crazy ass rules that it infringes are really for casualty, or what do you call them? What do you call people that get hurt accidentally?
That's casualties, I guess. Or stray bullet, I don't know.
Unintended casualties, yeah. That's what they're advocating of.
Yeah. So just think, if they could just save one child, it could work. If they just got rid of that NFA, they would save children's lives. Do they not care about the children? Is that what it is with the government? They just don't care about the children?
Well, we saw, or that was our gun of the day. So Thunder 5, we try to come up with a new gun every day, and looks like Bob's going to have one on Monday already. We normally go into something like a movie of the day. Do we have one in the list today?
Well, I was going to do Max Payne because he used the judge, but we could go Three Kings too because they had Thunder 5.
I don't know if you already got Max Payne in there. Let's do that one, and then we can always do Three Kings later. I don't know if we've done Three Kings before.
I think we have.
Okay.
All right, cool. So Max Payne is the movie of the day.
I've never seen it. I don't think.
You're not missing much.
It's kind of new, isn't it? Is that the one that Night Strike's like icon is off of?
It's who's his icon? Is it Marky Mark?
No, I'm saying Night Strike's logo.
Thanks, Marky Mark.
I don't know. I'm sure he does. I don't know. That was Duke Nukem. That's his icon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's who I thought he was. But like, I didn't know Night Strike was Marky Mark in real life, though. Should we have told everyone that?
Yeah, because Marky Mark is a felon, so.
That's right. All the time because he's always hanging out with the Funky Bunch.
Where is it at? I want to get the part because there was a cool part where he was. It was probably one of the things we could have talked about on movie myths, gun myths in movies or anything. Because there was one cool part where he was blowing off door hinges. There it is. He's just walking down the line of these stalls and blowing off the doors with his little jug. And I think there was 6 doors too. Only 5 shots in the jug.
Yeah. I love the muzzle flash though.
Yeah, oh my goodness, look at that.
That's got to be movie magic.
So yeah, look at these. Not only did these shotgun shells keep a tight pattern, but it went through in a tight pattern too.
Yeah.
Just blowing doors off with the jug. Wasn't Marky Mark? No, Marky Mark wasn't in Three Kings. Wait, was Marky Mark? Can't remember.
I don't know. He was in a lot of shit.
Yeah, that is true.
So there must be he must not be able to handle any real guns in his movies, huh?
I mean, it looks real. But I don't know.
It's got to be just movie props, though.
Either that or they just let him, here, Mark, use this and don't tell your probation officer or whatever.
I think Hollywood people get a special privileges.
It was a weird story. It was pretty much Marky Mark was a cop, and something had happened. His wife and his kid were murdered, and then he got all messed up from that psychologically, and then he hunts down this group of people that.
Gee, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, he finds exactly right, but he finds these people that are like indirectly or directly involved, but with it, but he indirectly finds them, and then the hunt is on, and then you have the movie. And then the one girl from that '70s show was in it too. She was kind of hot.
Donna?
No, the little one, the black-haired one.
No, Donna was hot.
Jackie. Yeah, Donna was hot. Yeah,
And we're getting a few in the YouTube thing, which is pretty much what I was saying. Is this? Can we see Punisher ripoff?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, Jimmy, check your gun channel messages too. Apparently.
What do you want, Night Strike? Movie Max Payne was based on a video game that came out years prior. Oh, thanks, Night Strike. Yeah, okay, so it was a video game, so I guess that's what the story was based off of.
Yeah, but Punisher's been around for years and years and years and years before video games.
Yeah, so that means that the video game Max Payne ripped off Punisher before the movie Max Payne ripped off Punisher.
There you go.
So yeah, but I mean, with that though, it's like I said, it's the same movie that we've watched before, so it's somewhat entertaining. It kept my focus, but I only watched it twice, I think, maybe once.
I think I only ever saw it once, and I don't remember a whole lot about it. So
yeah, I'll give it a thumb up.
Yeah, I'm not even going to give it a thumb up. Mark. But I'm not going to give it a thumb down either. I'm just going to give it a thumb straight across,
A hard neutral.
Yeah, hard neutral. There we go.
All right. Well, that was the movie of the day, Max Payne.
So, what do we want to talk about now? We talked about. Oh, I think we pretty much covered everything.
I don't know.
No.
Do we do a gun shop?
No, we did do a gun. Yes, we should do a gun shop scene. This is kind of what the show's kind of based on.
Kind of. So do we have one in there yet?
Negative.
The emails? Okay, so why don't we do this shop yesterday? I actually am going to do this 3 shops yesterday I went to. Kind of 3 shops. So, and it's sort of the road coming down from Tulsa if you don't take the tollway. And kind of a nice area. Texas Instruments is there. I forget now, but there's a couple of big companies on the highway, so it's kind of a nice area, Texas. And I just had the GPS pointed to Dallas or maybe the hotel here. And what I'll do sometimes when I'm driving is I'll just hit the little microphone on Google Maps and I'll ask it gun shops, and it'll find all the gun shops on your route. And it found a couple of them all in the same place. So I figured, good odds. I got 3 of them. They were open. So I stopped and talked to the first one, which is called Runner. So I don't know. I should have asked them why they named it that, but it's called Runner Guns, I think. And nice little shop, real friendly. And it was close to closing. They closed at 6, I think. And I was there at 5 something already, 5:20 something, 5:30 even. So, I got some pictures, and then they told me that they had just moved from another location where the other gun shop is. So they grew from their original storefront and moved down just the parking lot, really across the street technically, but down little center to larger square footage, and they're a pretty big full-size gun shop. Not big, but medium-sized, good-sized, full-size gun shop. They specialized in AR-15s. I did a Instagram post of that shop already, I think. They had a display. I don't know if you call it a display because it's an interactive thing. You know how they make those lowers that are designed to hold trigger packs for AR-15s? They're basically for demo, so you can try the trigger without having to hold a whole gun or have a whole gun devoted to the trigger. So they have a bunch of those on a table, which I thought was really cool since it's a shop kind of looks like devoted to AR-15s and building them and modifying parts and stuff. Having a bunch of them to compare like that is really clever. And sometimes you'll see like the Geisleys or something. This was like a whole bunch of them, I think. So that was neat. They also had an exploded AR-15 like under glass. Lay out all the parts. I'm sure they use as an example for people, or if people were looking for a particular part and they didn't know the name of it, they had a little, it's a level higher than just having like one of those cleaning mats that has your AR-15 all broken down on it. So that was kind of cool. Anyway, that was a neat shop, and like I say, they're super friendly, and they told me about their story, and their story is that they came from that other shop. So I told them thanks and went over to that other shop, and it's called now G4G Guns. And it started out as a lady and her husband going to gun shows and selling predominantly to females. So it was called Guns for Girls. And they carried all the pink stuff and lots of purses and the various body holsters that they make for females, which are like versions of the body belt or the belly band, like elastic things and things with elastic and lace so that you can kind of wrap yourself up with it, I guess, and there's somehow there's a holster in there, so it's not just appendix carry or something, but you can actually have a sewn holster into a piece that you can then put on, and it's, I guess, attractive still, and hides the gun or whatever it needs to do for females. So anyway, they had not just 2 or 3 of those, but they had a whole wall of that kind of stuff. So I'm guessing that from Instagram and stuff, looking at their stuff, they were predominantly female oriented. Then they grew, and now they're kind of everything oriented, not just females. So they have other stuff. It's not a full gun shop. It's a small shop. Definitely still focused on the female shooters and the carry options, but not just pink guns in the store, pink and purple and all that. They have all the regular colors and whatnot. So anyway, it was kind of a neat story how they grew from doing gun shows to deciding to do a storefront. and that other guy had a shop that was growing from a single storefront to, two. And a guy came in and does Cerakoting, and I can't remember the name of the Cerakote shop, but he came in and took the smaller location, and then when the G4G decided to go to a storefront, they worked together with that guy, and I guess it works out as real well. They carry stuff for some segment of the market. The other shop carries stuff for the other segments of the market, and then they got the Cerakoting, gunsmithing, and stippling guy there. So I think that's pretty neat, and they're all kind of in the same parking lot, and cool little story. And it was neat to be able to just kind of find it randomly off Google Maps like that.
Yeah, it sounds like a one-stop shop kind of place or plaza.
Yeah, just under 3, banners and 2 buildings. But yeah, kind of neat. So that's the kind of stuff you experience. You never even think about that kind of stuff happening, and it's out there. So encourage people. That's part of, like Bob said, that's one of the reasons we do the show, is to talk about a gun shop every day. I've been having a lot of fun going around and taking pictures of shops and stuff. And again, the idea is to encourage people to do the same. So if you're in there and you take some pictures and they ask why, you're doing a podcast or you're doing it for your YouTube or whatever it might be, and listen to whatever stories they might tell you. Usually I ask, how long's the store been here? And that's like, this time it turned into a discussion and lots of interesting info about 3 companies working together.
Yeah, and there's something. I mean, we're kind of in a sense, Gun Channels is a bit of a sausage fest, but there are a lot of female shooters out there, and it would behoove us to make sure that if we do see a female shooter in the Gun Channels, let's all be on decent behavior and try keep some female presence in the Gun Channels, because I think it could help civilize us a bit. And everybody knows who I'm talking about there. Wink, wink.
In this country, we have a saying called the pot calling the kettle black.
Hey, I'm not Stone Guy.
All right. He hasn't been around for a while. Somebody had to take over his
Lecturism.
All right, well, that was our gun shop of the day, and I don't know where else we got.
I think just whatever is happening tonight, I think, is the point we're at.
Right on. So we going to be focused on firearms. One of the things that happens over there is a lot of live conversation. So that happens in the text chats, it happens in the lobbies, but it also happens in the scheduled, we call them live primetime shows. So Edge 4006, a member of Gun Websites team, been a member of Gun Channel since the beginning, has been doing a Friday night podcast for years. I think as long as anybody else has been doing it, longer than Yankee's been doing his Thursday night one for sure. I think Matt might be the only one who's been doing one consistently longer. So anyway, Edge is on tonight. I can't remember what time because I don't even know what time zone I'm in actually. And I know that Clover is a Friday night show just before Edge, I believe.
I want to say Clover's 9 Eastern and Edge is 10 Eastern.
That sounds right. So we do have a schedule over on Gun Channels. We're here to remind you of those shows, but if you want to get the actual times for your area, then check out the live link up at the top of Gun Channels. There's a link there to the show schedule. It's up to the individual show host to keep their stuff up to date, so it's not always 100% accurate, but it gives you a general idea for something like Edge, who's been doing his show for the same time slot forever. Those kind of shows are all in there, and they're correct. And you can always get that on the lobby chat as well. Just above the lobby chat between the text chat and the video, there's a link there to the schedule.
Hey, G-Web, do you know if the Gun Rights Policy Conference is going to be streamed live this year?
All right. So I was talking, yes, I know. And no, it isn't. So I went and talked to the guy from Polite Society Podcast, and they're going to stream it on Facebook. So they're convinced that Facebook uses less bandwidth than YouTube and that their equipment isn't good enough to run YouTube. So they're not going to be on YouTube. Yeah, I had to bite my tongue there and not be a dick, but I don't understand the concept here at all. Because the production value isn't good, fuck them. maybe that's the, I don't know. And I'm putting words in their mouth, but that's what I heard. I don't understand it. Here's the thing. They said I can. So I think I'm going to just run the camera. It'll be crude and shitty and you won't be able to hear nothing, but at least it'll be live, and it'll be live over on Gun Channels. So I don't know if anybody's going to be around tomorrow that wants to help out with making sure that the thing stays up on the Gun Channel side. I'm not sure what the room's like. The room I'm in today is a seminar room, right? It holds 75 people, and it's got a little electric plug for every person and a little internet port. So I'm guessing the room that we're in tomorrow is going to be more of an auditorium type of setting where you're just sitting in rows of chairs. I won't have, power and a place to set the laptop on. And I just don't know what the situation is. I just registered last week, so it's not like they were planning on me being there with a big elaborate setup or anything. If I can sneak in there with the laptop, I can turn it on and plug it into the power and use my own internet and just basically face the webcam towards the panel or the stage and let it go. Otherwise, I'll try to, I don't really want to use the phone, but if I have to, I can try to use the phone to do it. So we'll also try to get together with whoever's going to, I don't know if we may have a channel set up. Maybe we'll do it on the Every Second Matters channel on Gun Channels, but wherever we put it, we'll see if we can't embed the Facebook one also, since they are going to be sitting in the primo spot to be recording. Like, they are archiving it. They just are choosing not to archive it live on YouTube. They're going to archive it live on Facebook. And I'm pretty sure there's a Facebook embedding thing. And the way Gun Channels is built, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. We'll just still stick that embedded video up above our text chat, and we'll have our own text chat. It's just, it'll be a little goofy because we're not all familiar with the Facebook embedding yet. So long answer to the question, yeah. And what are you going to do? Some people are really interested in making sure the production quality is some level, and they just would rather not do it if it isn't at that level, I guess. But I got a lecture on how my phone wouldn't work. I offered to let them, they said that the hotel internet wasn't a big enough pipe to do the live stream on YouTube. So I said, well, I got an AT&T device that has all the time you want on it. It's unlimited, unthrottled. It's supposed to be, at least. And if it isn't, then I'll take the bite. So you can just use that. You just plug it into USB and run it. I'll give you the password. And that's when I got the lecture on how phone isn't big enough. So
even though you've been using it to stream live stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I started doing this 5 years ago. I've been doing it wrong all the time.
Well, the thing is, if we put it up on Gun Channels and if ours works, like you're saying, then that just proves the point that you were right. And
I don't care about right. I just would rather have somebody who knows what they're freaking doing and has, a power plug and isn't using their phone. Because like right now, I just had a phone call from probably some spam thing telling me the Internal Revenue Service is looking for you, right? One of those phone calls. I get those things all the time. And it's going to happen, and it's going to be running from 8 to 4 tomorrow. So, obviously it's kick out. It's going to be shitty, and it's me. So it's going to be shitty, and I'm going to be moving the phone around. I don't have a tripod or nothing. So it's not going to be ideal. But I know that there's people out there that are interested, especially this year, and what is going to be decided during the weekend. So we'll do it. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And I'll give them my password anyway. And, maybe the guys will try it. I mean, if they're so smart, they can shotgun it. Get a couple internet connections and make them a fast pipe.
Yep. For sure. All right. So
that'll be tomorrow. It'll be all day at the Gun Rights Policy Conference. Hopefully some people are going to show up to that. I saw Masad Ayoub's girlfriend there. Knox was there. And some podcasters, the Play Society podcast is there. Gun Talk Radio, I think, is their name. And a couple others who I've seen before, but I don't know the names of their channels. And then a bunch of people I've never seen before. So that's pretty cool. I guess there's 50 people in that room at the Second Amendment Media Conference, or they're calling it, I think. And we had some radio show hosts, some lawyers, and some people who've been doing podcasts for like 9 years. Talking about stuff. I've actually got about a half a page of notes, and I'm thinking we're going to change the show up a little bit if these guys are game, based on some of the insight we got at the seminar so far. And I would definitely, this is the first year they're doing it, so I felt bad because I didn't know about it. I would have been promoting it. But they only had 75 seats in the room, and they filled up to 50 and didn't want to put it out there for the world and then be able to tell everybody they couldn't show up. So I guess I understand that. Hopefully it'll happen next year on a bigger scale. And I encourage anybody to put this on their calendar. It's a little bit of, you already know this, depending on what you're doing and how long you've been doing it. But it's good to get everybody to, you know, it's one of those things where everybody sits there and listens to the same thing. Then the Q&A section becomes very useful because everybody brings their insight to the basics, right? And then obviously the other part that's really good is the breaks. Every so often you get a long break, and that's when you can do some networking. If you want to get outside of your normal group, right? You know, and talk to people who are either podcasting on a different level or to a different audience. They got the doctors for gun ownership in there. One lady's doing a fashion show at for the NRA and stuff. She was on A&E, did a documentary. So people at various different levels. Like I said, this one guy's been podcasting for 9 years. Another guy's been blogging for like 20 or something. So they're pretty neat, but also just the networking. If you want people on your show, if you want to be on other platforms, you know, if you're doing podcasts or if you're doing live shows on YouTube or if you're doing Facebook or just gun channels and you want to promote your stuff, you know, this is the kind of place where you can get with somebody who's doing blogs or, you know, doing a very successful blog or something, and, you know, can mention your words to people, you know, to thousands and thousands of people who you would normally never get a chance to even, you know, get in front of. So I think there's some advantage for, like, say, for us as content creators to network, but also just good data, like good knowledge.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, so I guess we'll see everybody Monday. We talked about the shows that are happening tonight. Travis, I think, does Caliber Corner still on Saturdays. Rick does Rick's Life as I See It. And we'll be doing something with the Gun Rights Policy Conference. I suspect somebody might have a lobby up. It's going to be, the 30th, so we won't have Every Second Matters till Monday?
Yeah, Monday.
Okay. So look forward to Monday for an Every Second Matters show. It should be interesting. All riled up and pissing vinegar. And we'll figure out how to solve the Second Amendment stuff. We'll either be singing the praises of some awesome idea or bitching and moaning that they didn't come up with any great ideas. But we'll have something to say. And maybe we'll get some people on there. I don't know. They're all going to be busy and doing stuff and probably exhausted from a weekend, but at least we'll get our business cards in front of them and we'll try to arrange some interviews and guests for future shows. We'll be back here Monday at noon Eastern. That's 9 Pacific for another episode of the show. I think it'll be episode 411, it sounds like.
Yep. Yepper. All right. Well, on that note, we like to end our show with a quote. This one today is by Clint Smith. Before that, I'd like to just remind everybody, please like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, all that fun stuff. If you can find it in your pocketbook, support us on Patreon. The link is down below the show description. Let's see. So, yeah, Clint Smith. Clint Smith. A free man must not be told how to think, either by the government or by social activists. He may certainly be shown the right way, but he must not accept being forced into it. And on that note, I'll wish everybody a happy weekend, and we'll see you all Monday.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.